Hello children, I hope everyone is staying at home safely and eating healthy food. So when your mother makes a healthy food, you can easily recognize the food without seeing it and instantly identify the aroma of food by smelling it. Now when your mother serves the food, you touch and understand whether it is hot or warm or ready to eat. And when you eat it, you find the food is salty or sweet or sour or bitter or spicy. Children, how do you do all these things? Yes, we use something known as senses. These senses include senses of sight, senses of hearing, senses of smelling, senses of tasting and senses of touching. Like human beings, even animals have amazing senses. In this video, we are going to learn about the super senses of different animals with examples. Children, now let's read our textbook, Super Senses. Children, now let's start reading our book. Has this ever happened to you? You were eating in the playground, a crow or an eagle flew down and took away your food? Or, as you walk softly past a sleeping dog, its ears shoot up at once. You drop something sweet on the ground, and within minutes, many ants collected around it. How did they get to know if you drop anything? Yes, children, this is because they have a very good sense of smell. With that, they can find out when something is dropped or spilt. Do you know, children, some animals can see their prey from far away. Some can hear even the faintest sound. What do you mean by faintest sound? It means very soft sound. Some animals can find their friends by their smell. The animal world is full of examples of amazing senses. Isn't it, children? Now we are going to learn about the super senses of ants. There are 3 types of ants. They are queen ant, worker ants and guard ants. They all live in a hole as one group. Even in the classroom, when your teacher makes different groups to do the activities, you won't go to the other group and likes to be with them. Am I right, children? So, now let's see how did the ant recognize a friend. An ant was going along on the ground. It saw a group of ants coming from the other side. The first ant quickly came back to his hole. The ant guarding the hole recognized it and let it in. So, how did the first ant know that the other ants were not from its group? Ants and other animals also have different senses. They can see, hear, smell and feel. Due to different senses, the ant could know that the other ants were not from its group. How did the guard ant recognize this ant? The guard ant could recognize this ant because of smell. Children, now let's do a small activity with the help of your friends. Drop some sugar, jaggery or anything sweet on the ground. Wait until the ants come there. How long did it take for the ants to come? It took about 15 to 20 minutes for ants to come. Did one ant come first or a group of ants came together? One ant came first, followed by a group of ants. What did the ants do with the food? The ants carry the food to their hole. Where do they go from there? They go to their hole from there. Do they move in a line? Yes, they move in a line. Now carefully, without harming the ants, block their path for a while with a pencil. Now observe how do the ants move. Ants climb up on the pencil. They still move in a line. Isn't it interesting, children? Long ago, a scientist did an experiment and found out something very interesting. Do you know what did he find? He found out that when ants walk, they leave a scent behind. It is a special kind of smell. It does not smell good, But this smell helps the other ants. The other ants then follow that smell and reach wherever they have to go. Now, let's see about mosquitoes. Mosquitoes are very smart. They are able to follow you from the smell of your feet and body smell. I think that God has given something special to everyone. Such tiny insects like ant, mosquito, and even the silkworm have a great sense of smell. Now, children, let's see the super senses of dog. Have you seen a dog sniffing here and there? Now look at the picture. What do you think it is trying to smell? Dogs marks out their own area on the road. They can make out if another dog has come into their area by the smell of his urine or stool. Isn't it amazing, children? Now let's see in what ways do human beings make use of this special sense of smell of dogs. This special sense of smell of dogs is used by humans in many ways. Some examples are for catching criminals, for detecting stolen goods, and even for detecting bombs. Isn't it amazing, children? Even we human beings have a super sense of smell. For example, suppose when your mother keeps the milk on the stove and forgets about it, the milk boils and spills over. She then runs to the kitchen, take it off the stove when she gets the smell of burnt milk. Now next question is, when do you find your sense of smell helpful to you? List some examples like to know by a smell that food has gone bad or that something is burning. Apart from smelling bad food or a burning object, we can also recognize the smell of tasty food, perfume, incense sticks, flowers, sweaty clothes, gas leak in the kitchen, etc. Now, let's write the names of 5 things whose smell you like and 5 things whose smell you do not like. Now, look at the picture. She is Sushila. Let's discuss about her story. Today, Rajini had to go out for some important work. She had to leave her 6-month-old son Deepak with her sister Sushila. Sushila also has a baby of the same age. It was funny that both the babies did potty at the same time. She happily cleaned her daughter, but when she was cleaning her sister's son Deepak, she covered her nose with her dupatta. Now let's think and discuss. Sushila covered her nose when she cleaned Deepa's nappy, but not when she cleaned her daughter. Why do you think she did this? When we feel something is dirty, we find it smell bad. In case of Sushila, she thought Deepak's nappy to be dirty. So she had to cover her nose. When she was cleaning her daughter's nappy, she did not think of its being dirty. How do you feel when you walk near a heap of garbage? Think of the children who spend the whole day picking things from such garbage. I feel bad when I walk near a heap of garbage. Children who spend the whole day picking things from such garbage become used to the smell. Their minds do not get offended by the smell. Is a smell good or bad for everyone in the same way? Or does it depend on how each one feels about it? It depends on how the person thinks about a particular smell. But some smells can always be bad for most of the people. Now let's see the position of eyes on head of some birds. Can you guess a bird which has eyes in front of its head? Like in humans? It is owl. Some birds like pigeons, crows, sparrows, eagles, etc. have eyes on either side of the head. What is the size of their eyes as compared to the size of their head? their eyes are very small as compared to the size of their head. Most of the birds have their eyes on either side of the head. Their eyes can focus on two different things at a time. When they look straight ahead, both their eyes focus on the same object. Now, look at the picture and see the different position of eyes on head. You must have seen birds moving their neck very often. Do you know why? In most of the birds, eyes are fixed and cannot move. So birds have to turn their heads to see around. When a bird focuses both eyes on one object, it can estimate the distance. But when his eyes focuses on two different things, it increases his range of vision. This is because of the super senses of sight. Do you know? Some birds like kites, eagles, vultures can see 4 times as far as we can. These birds can see things from a distance of 8 meters, what we can see from a distance of 2 meters. Animals cannot see as many colors as we can. It is believed that animals that are awake in the daytime can see some colors. But those animals that are awake at night can see things only in black and white colors. Now children, look at the picture very carefully. How things in these pictures will be seen by some animals. See, in the first picture, the human being can see all the things. In the second picture, a bird can also see all the things. In the third picture, a dog can see only few colors. In the fourth picture, a rat can see the things in black and white. Isn't it amazing, children? Now let's see the super sense of hearing of some animals. Children, in class 4, you read that we cannot easily see birds' ears. This is because their ears, which are small holes, are covered with feathers. Now can you guess the names of 10 animals whose ears can be seen? Can you say the names of some animals whose ears are bigger than our ears? Elephant, rabbit, cow, buffalo, dog, etc. have ears bigger than our ears. Is there some link between the size of animals' ears and their hearing? There is possibly a link between the size of animals' ears and its hearing. Animals with bigger ears have better hearing than animals with smaller ears. Children, do you know? Snakes do not have external ears. But how do they hear? They only feel the vibrations on the ground. Now we will see how some animals make sounds and send messages at the time of danger. Look at the picture. High upon a tree, a langur warns others of dangers like a tiger or leopard. The langur does this by making a special warning call. Even birds also give alarm calls to warn about the danger. Some birds even have different sounds for different kinds of dangers. For example, there is a different warning call if the enemy is coming from the sky or if the enemy is on the ground. Even fishes give alarm call by electric signals. Some animals start behaving in a different way when an earthquake or storm is about to come. People who live in a forest and can observe such behavior of animals come to know of the danger. Do you know, children, in December 2004, few tribes that live in the forest of the Andaman Islands noticed the animals behaving in a different manner. They guessed some danger, so they moved away to safer part of the island. Soon after, the islands were hit by the tsunami, but these people were saved. Now let's see the super sense of dolphin. Dolphins also make different sounds to give messages to each other. They produce a certain type of sound underwater which bounces off after touching an object in front of them and comes back to dolphin. And the dolphin comes to know that something is on their way. Isn't it amazing, children? Just like birds and dolphins, you can also make your own language of sounds for giving messages. Remember, you have to talk to your friends with only sounds and no words. How and when will you need to give an alarm call? For example, when the teacher is coming to the classroom. You and your friends can produce some sounds like shh, shh, teacher, teacher, to sound an alarm. This can be used to alert others when the teacher is coming to the classroom. Also, let's see the animals which have sensitive senses. Some animals go into a long, deep sleep in winter seasons. Then they are not seen for many months because they cannot tolerate cold. This long winter sleep is known as hibernation. Hibernation is a state of inactivity when some creatures go into sleep during cold seasons and they get up only when winter season gets over. Have you noticed that during the cold season you cannot see any lizard in the house? Where do you think they have gone? Yes, we have noticed that lizards cannot be seen during the cold season. I think they must be hiding somewhere to escape from the cold. Now we will see the lifestyle of sloth. Look at the picture, children. It looks like a bear, but it is not. It is a sloth. It spends almost 17 hours a day sleeping while hanging upside down on a tree branch. The sloth eats the leaves of the same tree on which it lives. It hardly needs anything else. When it has eaten enough leaves from that tree, it moves to the nearby tree. Sloths live for about 40 years, and in that time they move only 8 trees. Once a week it comes down from the tree to relieve itself. So this is the lifestyle of sloth. Now see how the sleeping time of different animals are shown in the circle. Look at the first circle. It is divided into 12 parts, and each part or fraction denotes 2 hours. So first let us count the time for which the sloth is awake. So the part which is not shaded is 3 parts. So when you count, it is 6 hours. So the sloth awake 6 hours. So when you count the shaded parts, it will be 18 hours. But in the textbook, it is mentioned that the sloth sleeps 17 hours. This is because 17 is an odd number and it is easy to count the even number. So it is shown 18 hours. Now look at the second circle. You have to shade the fraction for which a lizard is sleeping in winters. How will you show at the clock for a house lizard in winters? So I had already told you that lizard sleeps 24 hours during winter season. So how much parts will you shade? The entire portion, because it sleeps full 24 hours in winter. Similarly, let us count the sleeping time of the cow. We have to count the shaded portion. 1, 2. Cow sleeps for 4 hours. The next circle is python. When you count, it will be 18 hours. Giraffe 2 hours and cat 12 hours. So this is the sleeping time of these animals. Now we will discuss about tigers. First we will see the super sense of sight of tigers. A tiger can see 6 times better at night than most of us. Next is the super sense of hearing of tigers. A tiger's sense of hearing is so sharp that it can make out the difference between the rustling of leaves and the sound of an animal moving on the grass. The ears of the tiger can move in different directions, and this helps to catch the sounds from all around. They also have a super sense of smell. Each tiger has its own area which may cover several kilometers. Tigers mark their area with their urine. A tiger can at once come to know if there is another tiger in his area by the smell of the urines. A tiger will avoid going into another tiger's area. Tigers make different sounds for different purposes, like when it is angry or to call out a tigress. It can also roar and it can be heard up to 3 kilometers away. They also have super sensitive whiskers. A tiger's whiskers are very sensitive and can sense the movements or vibrations in air. They help the tiger move in the dark and find its prey. Now let's discuss dangers faced by tigers. The tiger is one of the most alert animals, and yet today tigers are in danger. What do you think are some of the dangers to tigers in the jungle? The biggest threat to tigers is from hunters and poachers who kill them for their skins. Besides, they are threatened by other powerful animals like lion. Dangers are also from destruction of forests, forest fires, and the growing imbalance in nature. Do you know that today many animals are killed and their parts are sold? Elephants are killed for their tusks, rhinoceros for its horn, tigers, crocodiles, and snakes for their skins. Musk deer are killed just to make a little scent from its musk. To protect the animals, our government has made some forests as protected area. Some of them are the Jim Corbett National Park in Uttarakhand and Ghana in Bharatpur district of Rajasthan. In these areas, nobody can hunt animals or destroy the jungle. So, this is the end of our chapter Super Senses.